A model steam engine test plant. This is part 26, time for a major rethink of this boiler plant. These gas burners seem to develop insufficient heat. I start to correct the problem, but need to drill some holes in the baseboard first to access the two fixing screws on the underside of the burners. The plant will eventually need to be dismantled fully to cut a slot in the baseboard to make the burner fixings more accessible. In this video I show the drilling of two holes in the baseboard. This is definitely only a temporary solution. On with the job. The first thing to do is to remove the gas jet assembly, which is currently fitted with two number 8 gas jets. This was shown in a previous episode. What I'm doing here is disconnecting the pipe from the injector to the boiler check valve. This large boiler only has one extra 4x40 inlet for a check valve. I'm going to make a new fitting altogether for this so I can use two 5/16x32 check valves. In this clip I'm removing the machine screw at this side which holds this burner in place, or so I thought. I forgot entirely that there is another one at the other side underneath. These are steel screws, which is a good thing because I worked on a max steam version of this boiler, and one particularly loud explosion, because I was a bit late lighting the gas, blew the burner out of the hole, shearing off the brass bolt. These steel machine screws really are a much better idea. I like the models that I build to be fully serviceable and easily serviceable. I don't need to remove the injector piping or the hand pump, because the burners will come out with this in place. I thought about this when I fitted the water tank to the baseboard. In today's video I just wanted to get on with the burner modification. The double water tank and the hand pump are removed together as one unit. It's quite a simple and quick job. What follows really is a bit of a bodge. Why am I doing it this way? Well, I figured that if I get it right by doing it this way, when I fit the baseboard in the milling machine's machine vise to mill a proper slot, it will at least be in the right place. Just in case you're wondering what I'm doing, drilling these two holes at an angle, this clip explains it all. If the modification of the gas burners is successful, I will mill a neat slot in this position before the episode after the plant is reassembled. If the modification to these burners is not successful, I will have to think again. But as always, I'm quite optimistic. The more I look at this check valve adapter, the more I wonder why I made it this way. It was sort of made in stages and I didn't really think about it. I have a much better idea. Back to the burner job, and here they are both on the bench, and as you can see, the ceramic in both of them is quite badly damaged. I don't like the modern replacement ceramic for this stuff. I'm going to see if I can get some like Max Steam used to use. The whole point of removing the burners is to drill out the holes in the venturi. First of all, I'm drilling a cross hole all the way through both sides using a 1/4 inch twist drill. This will allow more primary air into the burner. I did this to both of the burner venturis. I really do think that the original holes in the venturi for the primary air were far too small. Now it's looking a bit better, but what I thought I would also do is drill out the other hole, but not 1/4 inch, otherwise the venturi would become weak. I drilled out the primary air holes to 1/4 inch and 13/64 of an inch respectively, as I felt that 2 1/4 inch holes would weaken the venturi pipe too much. 13/64 of an inch is approximately 5.5 millimeters, just in case you're interested. In this episode I'm going to experiment with different fuels. The small can on the left contains 70% butane and 30% propane, so the pressure's a bit higher, or at least it is before it chills. The large tank on the right contains butane only, and this really won't chill because the burners are very small and the physical size of the tank will make it so it doesn't chill quite so much. To test the burners initially though, I'm using the smaller 70/30 tank. I haven't got it in some water, and by the way, I put it in a pot of water to try and prevent it from chilling. Even though I have mentioned this in other videos, a viewer asked me the other day. I actually gas tested the burners before I drilled out the second hole, and this is a test where I'm messing about with the positions of the jets. The burners are making too much noise in my opinion. When everything is right, they should run fairly quietly. This is after I drilled the other two holes 13/64 of an inch in diameter. Already the combustion is much improved. When I hold my blowtorch over the chimney, it doesn't light a fire at the top of the chimney, it goes out, which is what you would expect with carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide. I would like to mention that it's really important not to run these inside to start with, and if you do, you must be in a very well ventilated area. The big difference in this test and the other ones is the water gauge is showing that the boiler is quite full, whereas previously to raise any steam whatsoever I had to empty nearly all of the water out to start with. I stopped the test at this point and closed the gas valve because I'm going to change the fuel supply. Here I'm cutting off one of the tie wraps that holds the silicone rubber tubing to the gas jet inlet, and now I've connected another piece of silicone rubber tubing from the blue tank which contains butane. Using butane only, it's noticeable that the gas jets are not making as much noise. This is to be expected because the pressure is considerably lower. The good news is these twin gas burners cope with butane very well, and the tank isn't chilling and the boiler's getting hotter. I do know that you shouldn't look for gas leaks with a naked flame, but here's the exception to the rule. I'm checking that there's no blowback coming from the venturis, and no there isn't, it's fine. I think this test is going to be successful. The boiler's still full to the top and there is some steam inside the boiler even though it's not registered on the gauge yet. I found that the gas jets needed to go down lower and these fittings are quite tight. There's quite a lot of silver solder all over them, so I tapped them with a hammer and then suddenly everything was a lot better. The really bad smell that came from the chimney when the gas burners were lit has now disappeared. The gas is burning much more cleanly. Apart from the holes being small, these gas burner venturi pipes are quite long, much longer than I'm used to in other manufacturers' gas burners. I needed to tap the gas jet holder as far down as possible and then suddenly it reached the sweet spot. And that is it for this episode. I'll show the results of the test in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, thanks for watching and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.